But on India First, our top story remains the Ludhiana District and Sessions Court blast investigations. And the latest that's coming in from Ludhiana is the fact that police have identified the body that was found at the blast site. Police say the body is of the dismissed Punjab Police Head Constable Gagandeep Singh. Now, Singh apparently had been dismissed from service in a drug-related case in 2019. The motive of the blast is still under investigation. Forensics teams of the Punjab Police and also of the National Security Guard, the National Bomb Data Center, they have teams on ground zero. They've collected samples from the blast site and this is of course preliminary investigation. Detailed reports will be in 72 hours from now. But we are being told by our sources that high-grade explosives were used in the Ludhiana District and Sessions Court blast. The fact still remains, the police still don't have a motive. They still do not know, or at least that information is not yet in public domain. Where did the explosives come from? Also, is there a wider conspiracy, or are these the actions of a disgruntled, dismissed Punjab Police Head Constable who, according to police officials, and this is prima facie, their belief is the person whose body was found was trying to rig together an improvised explosive device. The dongle found in the hip pocket was to remotely trigger the IED, but it went off prematurely, killing one person and injuring 5 others. India Today has the biggest team of reporters on ground. Joining me from ground zero is India Today's Kamaljeet Kaur Sandhu, breaking this big story on India Today. Also with me is Lalit Sharma and Manjeet Sehgal, all on ground tracking this big story. Kamal, what more do we know about the person whose body has been found and his link to the blast?
Well, what was turning out to be a blind case, the first clues came in from the tattoo, a kanda on his arm, which was used to identify him. Later, they also found a dongle, which was at the hip pocket. And surprisingly, even though the body was disfigured, as you were rightly mentioning it, the dongle with a Wi-Fi as well as a SIM card was found. And in most cases, what happens is that there is a red herring. Usually, things like a SIM card are not the ones which belong to the person. However, once they found out the SIM card, they went and approached the family. They also were speaking to his wife, who's a estranged wife. And then he was identified, a positive identification of the cops took place, after which the cops have started investigating and finding out what the real motive could be. Now, this particular cop, Gagandeep, is a head constable. And remember, he was arrested for the under the NDPS Act. Resident of Khanna, he's the son of Amarjeet Singh. The fact remains that there are black sheeps as far as cops are concerned. We've seen that in the case of Davinder Singh, who was arrested in South Kashmir, in Jammu and Kashmir. And here is a cop who's involved in an activity. Remember, the charges are terror charges under the UAPA, which is the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. There is also the Explosive Substance Act. Multiple agencies on the ground. By 6:37, we've been told that is when the case was first cracked. But what they're trying to look at is the military high-grade explosive, which can only come in from Pakistan. How did this cop really get in touch? Just ahead of a high-profile 2022 polls, this kind of a blast taking place, the cops went and also checked whether there was any sort of a case which was related in Ludhiana court complex, and they found no connection as such.
Stay with me. Let me also quickly bring in Lalit Sharma for more on the story. Kamal, Lalit also joins us. Manjeet Sehgal also with us on the story. Lalit, what more do we know about the circumstances around this head constable's dismissal from Punjab Police?
Gaurav, if we just talk about, as per the latest input, what India Today has assessed, that in 2019, he was arrested for the NDPS Act, and presently he was dismissed from the post of head constable, and the case was under trial. And what we're also getting to learn from the sources that he has a not good relation with his wife, and from the past 2 years, his case was under trial in the court. And what we are, Gaurav, what we are also getting, that his identification was done from the SIM card which was found from his body. And also the input what we are getting is that while he was assembling the explosion, that time he was talking to somebody unknown via the dongle SIM only, and that person was also talking to him the way how to assemble the bomb. So by activating those things only, that time only the bomb exploded. And right now the police is just trying to find out what was the motive behind it. So right now the investigation is still on, as all the national as well as the state agencies are just probing the matter. Yes, Gaurav.
India Today has the biggest team of reporters on ground, fastest information, the most accurate information right here on India First. Manjeet, you've been speaking to your sources. So it does prima facie appear that this is a bigger conspiracy. Yes, there was a dismissed head constable. There was apparently a drug case in which he was dismissed. But do we have details? Who was he talking to on the other side? The fact that, this information that's breaking here first on India Today, was he making a WhatsApp call, a Telegram, a signal call? He was trying to evade investigators, and that is why perhaps that Wi-Fi dongle being used to make a call.
Well, Gaurav, the police was trying to get the call details used by the person who was found planting a bomb. The motive of this case is still not known, whether he wanted to create a panic among the judges and the lawyers community.
Okay, give me a moment as we try and reestablish that link, but let me bring in Kamaljeet Kaur Sandhu for more on this. Kamal, you raised the point about military-grade explosives, suspected RDX. Kamal, is that what your sources are telling you? Where would a dismissed head constable get access to RDX or the high-grade explosive that was found?
See, forensics unfortunately take much more time, and we've been told at least 72 hours before they decide whether this is PETN, whether this is TNT, whether this is dynamite, whether this is RDX, because these are high-grade military explosives which are not easily available, and the fingers point towards Pakistan. However, we've also accessed 3 intelligence reports, which came, 1 in July and 2 of them in December, which clearly pointed out that Pakistan-backed Khalistan elements will try and disrupt peace, especially in Punjab, ahead of elections in assembly elections in 2022. And on 23rd itself, that's the day of the blast, that's when the intelligence also came in, and in number of hours from that the explosion took place. Now what is important is that there are blame game which has been on by political parties, but here is a case which is very interesting, because many are pointing out questions and talking about how this could be an internal conspiracy, even though there seems to be a certain link which is coming into Pakistan. We know there have been drones which have been flying all a year across. There have been number of small-scale sabotage incidents, if I can say so, especially outside the army camp in Pathankot. The CIA office in SBS Nagar, there have been different bombs which have been recovered. So what Punjab has seen over the past 1 year is at least a dozen or so incidents of violence. But here is a big explosion which took place. And remember, there was a lawyer strike. Otherwise, if there was a fully crowded court complex, the damage could have been much more. And remember, the threat is still not ruled out. There are intelligence coming in that there could be possible more attacks. And is this just a lone wolf? That is the big question, or perhaps a bigger conspiracy to disrupt peace in Punjab before the polls. These are questions that Punjab Police and other investigation agencies are now scrambling, so that they have to ensure, one, that they can piece together evidence and find the conspiracy, and second, also to ensure that there is peace in the state.
Oh, absolutely. Also, the fact that the police are talking about this person being in touch with somebody else on a mobile phone, rigging together this explosive. But Manjeet, is there any corroborative evidence of this dismissed head constable in the blast? Is he a victim? Is he a perpetrator? Is there any background information about him that's available linking him to an alleged terror plot?
Well, Gaurav, sources are telling us that the accused Gagandeep was in touch with some of the gangsters, and he had also links with some of the drug smugglers. So he was in touch with them, and during the past some months, his activities were very suspicious. The police was trying to scan the call details from the SIM which has been recovered from the site. More details will be available after the detail is with the Punjab Police. The Director General of Punjab Police will be addressing a press conference tomorrow. So more details will come forth after that. But meanwhile, sources are saying, even the Chief Minister is also confirming that this could be the mastermind of the gangsters and a network of drug smugglers who were not happy the way Punjab government was registering cases against the drug peddlers. The Chief Minister in the morning said that 64,000 drug peddlers and smugglers have been booked. So there are also apprehensions, but the sources are saying that Gagan Dixit could be part of a bigger conspiracy. More details will emerge after the forensic report comes, but this has pointed towards a bigger conspiracy. But sources also say that this could be
a bigger conspiracy by gangsters, by drug mafia, or as some seem to indicate that forces across the border are trying to fish in troubled waters. But Lalit, you've been speaking to the police constantly. Yesterday, the police was trying to search for any footage on CCTV cameras. Were CCTV cameras there? Were CCTV cameras functioning? Where did the explosives come from? Did this dismissed policeman carry explosives into the courtroom premises himself, or did somebody else do it for him?
Gaurav, yesterday we had a word with the police officials at the Ludhiana court premises, and when we had a ground report also from outside the court premises, we found that neither there was a CCTV cameras available at the court premises, and other than that, if we talk about the metal detectors also, they were also not functional at all. So it completely shows the lapses of security inside the court complex. And if you talk about the overall way the person could enter the court premises, there are 12 doors from where a person can enter into the court premises. And if you talk about Ludhiana District Court, almost about 25 to 30,000 persons come regularly there for their court hearing cases. But yesterday it was a fortunate day that yesterday there was a strike of advocates, and that is the only reason that much casualties could not take place. Otherwise, the damage could have been much more.
And stay with me. So was this a lone wolf attack? Was it a bigger conspiracy? How did a dismissed policeman, a head constable, get access to high-grade explosives? Kamal, these are some questions that the police will have to grapple with. I mean, is this lone wolf? And Kamal, is this being treated as a Punjab police case, or is NIA taking over investigations?
See, the NIA has already sent a team. A senior police officer, superintendent of police, was present there today. There is a talk that this case could go, but the Punjab police wants to crack the case before they actually hand over the reins of the case to NIA. This could be a tough battle of sorts, especially at a time where the challenge has come that there is a dismissed cop which is involved in this particular case. This is possibility a lone wolf, but we've seen in the past few months that Pakistan, in its desperation, has been trying to not only push in heroin, not only push in drugs, but also use gangsters. Several charge sheets of the police as well as the NIA conclude that the Pakistan module has been trying to use the gangsters, especially in Punjab and Uttar Pradesh, to get in to do terror activities. They get in heroin, they get in money, and that is when they actually bring in explosives along with drugs. Now, this is a dangerous trend, but this is one of the first particular cases where both this connection is coming to the fore. What is important is who all could be involved, because once that SIM card is found, remember, they could go through the entire history, find out. Now, the cops do tell us that this could be some sort of a damage to the case done because it is coming out in the media, that there should be restricted information. But whatever details we can limited in a way put out is that the beginning of the case, the tip of the iceberg is known. That's the larger case and the larger conspiracy which now needs to be dug into.
There's more information that's coming in from Punjab. There's more breaking news that's coming in. We are told there are intelligence inputs of a Pakistan-based Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists. Now, these again are inputs that are coming in. Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists have infiltrated into Punjab. Intelligence inputs talk of at least 5 armed terrorists, and apparently with military-grade training having infiltrated into Punjab. I want to cut across once again to Lalit Sharma for more on this. Lalit, what more can you add to this information?
Gaurav, these are the fresh inputs what we are getting from our learned sources, and according to the latest input, what we are getting that on 30th November, a letter was being written by the intelligence security of Punjab Police to the MHA, in which they have clearly pointed out that five terrorists of Lashkar-e-Toiba have entered into Punjab through the Kartarpur corridor. These are the fresh input what we are getting from our sources. And as per the input, what we are also getting that they took training at Shakargarh at Pakistan for 2 weeks. These are also the latest input what we are getting. And the identities of the two terrorists have also been revealed, and their names are Muhammad Gulzar Magre and Muhammad Shehzada Bande. So these are the latest inputs what we are learning from our sources, that five trained militants have just entered on 30th November, and the names of two terrorists have also been revealed.
Stay with me. Kamal, is Punjab literally a tinderbox at this stage? What more do we know of that meeting that took place earlier today at the Ministry of Home Affairs? There is some talk of a Kashmir and Punjab terror link that is under investigation.
Well, several of the Khalistani groups have been active, and what is important is that there was a high-level meeting chaired by Home Secretary Ajay Bhalla. There were NIA chief as well as the CRPF chief, DG BSF, top officials of MHA who were involved in this particular meeting, obviously taking place in the wake of Ludhiana bomb blast. What is also important is the sort of border. And remember, Punjab shares over 553 kilometers of border with Pakistan, at least 7 districts of them. There have been at least 140 such drone flights which have come in, and these are the ones which have been detected, Gaurav. So there could be a large number which have gone undetected as well. Several of the cases have been filed. So this has been a continuous hotspot as far as Pakistan is concerned. There have been, as I was mentioning to you, several smaller incidents of violence as well as terror.
Yes.
The Punjab police have been monitoring them. They have been alerting. There have been alerts coming in both from the center as well as the state intelligence. So clearly, after Kashmir, the hotspot and the focus of the Pakistan seems to be on Punjab. Whether it's referendum 2020, whether it is Khalistani groups, whether it's Babar Khalsa, whose name has also popped up during investigation, there are several leads which are pointing out. But this is still too early to say. Many of them are saying this is premature. One has to really further delve into various angles before they can finally conclude as to who really is behind it. Meanwhile, unfortunately, it's the politics of the state which seems to be more about blame game rather than going through what is actually really happening in the investigation.
Manjeet, there was a report that you had filed, and tell us more about this, about some sleeper cells, about explosives, about grenades, about assault rifles already in Punjab. What more do we know?
Well, Gaurav, 10 days back, ADGP Internal Security had issued an alert and asked all SSPs of Punjab districts to be on alert, as Pakistan's ISI and Pakistan-based Khalistani groups were trying to infiltrate and were trying to disturb law and order in Punjab. So the recent recoveries of the tiffin bombs beside hand grenades and recent terror attacks, be it the Pathankot military station attack or be it the Nawashahar police station attack, CIA attack. So all these attacks and recent terror activities were taken into consideration, and Punjab police was already aware that the nefarious designs of Pakistan's ISI and the Pakistan-based terror groups were already visible and clear. So the police was already prepared and the alert was already sounded. As far as the sleeper cells are concerned, some sleeper cells were also active, and the police was keeping an eye on all these sleeper cells. Some people were also arrested in the past, and some have already been arrested in the past. Remember, the telephone calls being made by the Sikhs for Justice and Gurpatwant Singh Pannun are also being viewed seriously by the police, who has been making regular calls to the citizens in Punjab and Haryana.
This is something that needs to be tracked very, very closely. Manjeet Sehgal, Kamaljeet Kaur Sandhu and Lalit Sharma, for the moment, many thanks for joining me. There is clear and present danger. But instead of everyone uniting to take on the threat beyond our borders and within, political name-calling has escalated in Punjab. First, the sacrilege, then the lynchings, and now the blast. The Charanjit Singh Channi government is in the line of opposition fire, even as investigators look for clues to probe this terror strike. Now the body has been identified. A political blame game has escalated. Our Punjab Bureau gets us more. Punjab's poll season just got bloodier with a blast at Ludhiana's district and Sessions Court complex.
कि एक पॉलिटिकल एजेंडे के लिए लोगों में डर फैलाया जा रहा है
तो कहना चाहना है कि सरकार बिल्कुल फेल है जिन्ने देर रहूगी उन्ने दिन पंजाब का नुकसान होगा
The motive of the blast is still under investigation, but an all-out political war has escalated. Punjab Chief Minister Charanjit Singh Channi leveled the conspiracy charge, claiming drug smugglers may be behind the blast and it could be an attempt to divert attention from the sacrilege cases.
जो नशे का माफिया है इसके ऊपर कार्रवाई शुरू हुई है। हो सकता है कि ये जो धमाका हुआ है क्योंकि कोर्ट में हुआ है, इधर मोहाली कोर्ट में केस लगा हुआ है और लुधियाना कोर्ट में बम धमाका हो रहा है। मैंने कहा हो सकता है इसका लिंक हो, इसकी तहकीकात की जा रही है।
Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, eyeing political ambitions in Punjab, hit out at the Channi government and said that Punjab needs a more stable and honest government.
चन्नी सरकार बहुत कमज़ोर सरकार है और ये लोग आपस में ही लड़ रहे हैं। इनके पास पंजाब को संभालने के लिए समय ही नहीं है, तो कैसे पंजाब को आज एक स्थिर, ईमानदार और सशक्त मजबूत सरकार चाहिए जो कि ऐसे साजिशकर्ताओं के खिलाफ सख्त से सख्त कार्रवाई कर सके।
Punjab Congress Chief Navjot Singh Sidhu alleged that the blast was an attempt to instill fear and polarize voters.
मुझे बहुत दुख है और ये बहुत ही दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है कि एक पॉलिटिकल एजेंडे के लिए लोगों में डर फैलाया जा रहा है। बेकसूर लोगों की जानें ली जा रही हैं वोट्स की पोलराइजेशन के लिए।
The Punjab government went to the extent of claiming external interference in the state.
अपनी ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਟੇਟ ਆ ਇਹ ਬਾਰਡਰ ਸਟੇਟ ਆ, ਇਹ ਵੀ ਰੂਲ ਆਊਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਕੋਈ ਬਾਹਰ ਦੀਆਂ ਫੋਰਸਿਸ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਕਾਰਾ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹ ਕਦੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਕਿ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਟੇਬਲ ਰਵੇ ਔਰ ਇਹ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਸਟੇਬਲ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਤੇ ਪੂਰਾ ਹਿੰਦੁਸਤਾਨ ਸਟੇਬਲ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਅਨਸਟੇਬਲ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ਾਂ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਜਾਣਗੀਆਂ।
This gave ammunition to the BJP, which pointed out to Navjot Singh Sidhu's ties with Pakistan, especially Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan.
नवजोत सिंह सिद्धू का ये बयान कि लुधियाना में जो बम ब्लास्ट हुआ है वो एक समुदाय को डराने के लिए हुआ है और चुनाव के मद्देनजर हुआ है, ये बड़ा ही गैर जुमेराना बयान है। नवजोत सिंह सिद्धू पाकिस्तान को बचाने के लिए, इमरान खान को बचाने के लिए, जिनको उन्हीं के मुख्यमंत्री ने, उन्हीं के गृह मंत्री ने कहा कि इसमें पाकिस्तान की साजिश हो सकती है, शायद ये ऐसा इसलिए वो कर रहे हैं।
With elections just a couple of months away, the Ludhiana court blast gave the opposition, led by Captain Amrinder Singh, a stick to beat the Channi government with.
Inquiry no influence ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਮੁੱਖ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਕਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਆ ਫਲਾ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਕਰਾ ਰਹੀ ਆ, ਅਕਾਲੀ ਦਲ ਕਰਾ ਰਿਹਾ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਆ ਕਰਾਇਆ ਉਹ ਕਰਾਇਆ। ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਆ ਜੇ ਮੁੱਖ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਆਪ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਇਨਵੈਸਟੀਗੇਸ਼ਨ ਨੂੰ ਡਿਰੇਲ ਕਰੂਗਾ, ਆਪ ਹੀ ਇਨਕੁਆਇਰੀ ਅਫਸਰ ਬਣ ਜਾਊਗਾ, ਆਪ ਹੀ ਜੱਜ ਬਣ ਜਾਊਗਾ, ਆਪ ਹੀ ਜਜਮੈਂਟ ਪ੍ਰੋਨਾਂਸ ਕਰ ਦੂਗਾ, ਫਿਰ ਇਹ ਪੂਰੇ ਕਾਮਯਾਬ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੀ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਜੇ ਚੰਨੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਇਹ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਖੁਦ ਹੀ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਨੇ।
ਇਹ ਤੋਂ ਮਾੜੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇੱਥੇ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਦੀ ਵਸਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ। ਪੁਲਿਸ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੰਮ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਦਾ ਉਸ ਕੰਮ ਤੋਂ ਹਟਾ ਕੇ ਸਿਆਸੀ ਵੈਂਡੇਟਾ ਤਰਫ ਲੱਗੇ ਹੈ। तो मैं डीजीपी ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹਣਾ ਹੈ कि डीजीपी ਦਾ ਕੰਮ ਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ कि जो सियासी वेंडेटा करे ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੰਮ ਹੈ ਲਾਅ ਐਂਡ ਆਰਡਰ ਮੇਨਟੇਨ ਕਰਨਾ। ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੰਮ ਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ मैं स्ट्रांगली कंडेम करदा ਤੇ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹਣਾ ਹੈ कि सरकार बिल्कुल फेल है। जिन्ने देर ਰਹੂਗੀ उन्ने दिन पंजाब ਦਾ नुकसान होगा।
ये सारी एक कंस्पिरेसी के तहत, एक साजिश के तहत पंजाब के माहौल को बिगाड़ने की कोशिश करी जा रही है। चन्नी सरकार लॉ एंड ऑर्डर के मामले में, कानून व्यवस्था बनाए रखने के मामले में पूरी तरीके से फेल हो गई है।
Coming on the back of tension over alleged sacrilege incidents, the blast at the Ludhiana court fueled fears of more violence in the state. The political blame game has only added fuel to fire. With Lalit Sharma in Ludhiana, Bureau Report, India Today. We will continue to track the story very closely, but that is all I have time for on India First this evening. Many thanks for watching. Coming up on the other side of a quick break, an India Today special, Business Today with Udayan Mukherjee.